Today, we talk Michael Bay and Dora the Explorer. That's right. Two things you never thought you'd hear in the same sentence being talked about in the movie universe. But they are. We also run our top 5 favorite Super Bowl halftime shows in honor of JT coming back after his Nipplegate incident. And we finish off the show with how we think the Halloween genre or horror film genre is going right now on the F Word Podcast.
She with you?
I thought she was with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's the F Word Podcast brought to you by Entertain Facts. I am your host, G, and with me is...
Anthony. How are you guys doing?
It's a big day.
It is a huge day, and it is...
And we're not talking about any of it because we're going to save it. For those of you who don't know, Mario Odyssey came out today. Huge raving reviews on that. Mm-hmm. Assassin's Creed Origins. I haven't read any reviews because I don't like getting spoiled.
I've not read any reviews for Odyssey either.
Odyssey was given a masterpiece.
Oh, I know.
We got Stranger Things 2. We've got Wolfenstein 2, was it?
I think it was released technically yesterday. We're recording this Friday the 27th?
Something like that, yeah. Yes.
So I think they released it a day early just so it had less competition, I guess, but it still has the same amount of competition.
Yeah, so a lot of big things. I'm halfway through Stranger Things 2, so I will be having a review soon. But, I mean, let's scrap all of that and talk some Dora. Because that's our first topic, because it was said this past week or so that Michael Bay was going to be producing the Dora the Explorer live-action movie, which is just hilarious to think of.
I told my mom that we were talking about that on the podcast today, and she's like, why? I don't know either. I'm actually going to admit, though, Michael Bay's off the film, correct, now?
Yeah, so it wasn't actually supposed to be, it's more of a clarifying topic, but and then we can kind of dwell into what we would think a Dora the Explorer thing would be, and I'll watch the phrasing. I'll watch my phrasing.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, so Michael Bay was said to have been producing, but it wasn't actually Michael Bay. It was his production company, Platinum Dunes, and 2 other guys would have been doing the producing for it. However, for Michael Bay being involved, there's going to be some Michael Bay isms. That's why he's got these guys under them so they can follow his vision and keep going with that. Then it was released that definitely he's not being a part of it, and I don't know if it's still confirmed, but I don't think his production company is either. And again, if his production company Platinum Dunes is, it will not be Michael Bay, it will still be these other 2 guys. So I think it was more of a, because it is his company, everyone's like, oh, Michael Bay's producing it.
So it's just classic websites clickbaiting movies again.
Not necessarily. I think a lot of it has to come down to just the way that they word it. But so yeah, okay, let's go with the clickbait. But at the same time, it is his company, so technically he's the big name on there. So if you want to tie a big name into it, then you're going to go Michael Bay is producing the Dora the Explorer movie.
But that's still clickbaiting.
Well, and it's probably people haven't done their research to find out, is it actually Michael Bay or is it, again, this company, which it is. And again, it's called Platinum Dunes. And, when the Michael Bay movies like the Transformers happen, it's his company that's doing a lot of the production on there. And plus they do a lot of other things. But I think it'd just be fun to let's just play the game of Michael Bay himself producing it. And the reason producing is such a big deal, it depends on the director. Yeah. Because we saw what he did in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He was just producing, and that had Michael Bay all over it. Shredder looked like Megatron. I'm just going to put it right there.
Yeah, he definitely did. I'm not going to lie. I agree with you 100%. I want to see a Dora the Explorer movie with Michael Bay. I want to see Dora be like, come on, Vominos, and like explosions all over the place, and Boots just swinging from vine to vine as explosions are just going behind them, and just jumps out of the way right at the right time.
So you want Dora to be Rambo?
Basically.
Yeah. That wouldn't be too bad. That would actually put some butts in some
seats. Imagine
like
an Uncharted game, but somebody modded it so Dora the Explorer was Nathan Drake.
Right. Oh yeah, with all the explosions and all the cutscenes, like with these massive set pieces and such. Yeah. I think I was saying it the other day, where this is where phrasing comes into it, where I was like, I just want to see Dora ride a Grimlock. And then that's when you busted out the Archer reference, for those of you who don't know. But if you don't know, watch Archer. It's really good.
It was really good. I don't know about now.
Not a big fan of the new season?
I actually haven't watched the new season. I'm kind of scared.
It's better the second time around. The first time I watched it, I was a little bit worried. That first episode is really slow.
Yes.
But the rest of them going forward. So, Michael Bay directing Dora, you're thinking of it from an Uncharted perspective, with those big action set pieces happening and who knows in the world, and a big thing over, Brazil with the Jesus statue all over the place and stuff like that. I would love, cause Vamos is her, no, you said Vamos, or who'd you say?
I said come on and Vamos. Sounds like friends.
Oh, and no, okay. She has a sidekick in that, right?
Boots.
Okay. I want Dora and Boots to have a Bad Boys 1 or 2 style, exploration thing where it's they start off being, they're not start off, they are just these actual badasses and they play it up for the kids, but behind the scenes they just swear all the time. They get themselves into all sorts of shenanigans. Very
kind of
much
a Lethal Weapon kind of deal where Boots is that guy who always gets in trouble and Dora's come on Boots, gotta play by the rules. I like playing by the rules.
Yeah, so Boots would be your Mike Lowry, so your Will Smith, and then Dora would end up being your Martin Lawrence, who's always trying to keep the straight and narrow, but Boots is just off the chains. The Lethal Weapon crossover would be good because they're very similar. You got your badass cop and you've got your straight-laced one, right? So that's more of the Michael Bay that I would be going for.
I just thought about this when you were talking. Imagine if it's kind of like a Planet of the Apes ordeal where Dora takes this monkey that's really super smart, lab tested, and breaks it out of the place because they're gonna kill it or something.
Yeah.
And then it starts learning English and it starts going after this huge treasure and Dora just keeps on going. This company just tries killing both of them. And it's, I don't know, it'd be
turns into this big thing.
Yeah, this huge thing.
This huge, the world
like a John Wick Chapter 2 thing where everybody's just trying to kill Dora for that $1 million contract.
That would be awesome. If they did a live action Dora and they had the guys from John Wick do it and her end up being this badass assassin that everyone's going after, that would be pretty good.
And I know how it would end. Cause Swiper, I guess, would be the kingpin of this organization, right?
Okay.
He'd be about to kill Dora. Booth would come in from a vine, hit Swiper on the ground.
Yeah.
Dora grabs a gun. Swiper, no swiping. Then boom.
I think the other thing to consider is, and we've said this before, and everyone keeps saying this when it comes to sequels and stuff like this. Who asked for a live action Dora? Who's gonna go see a live action Dora?
If it's we're talking about it right now.
Okay.
We'll go no. We will do a review on Dora the Explorer.
Fine, we'll go see it if it comes out. Well, it probably will come out. But I don't think there's anybody, the kids watch it because it is a cartoon.
But isn't it over now?
Is it?
I think they're not making I think it's Dora's a teenager now or something in the new. If that's still going on. I remember I saw it. Yeah. There's a bunch of memes on it a year or two ago.
See, Dora passed me. I'm too old for the Dora phase. But I know it hit a meteor. Dora was everywhere, right? If they go the teenage route, Boots is imaginary, right? I'm assuming.
It's an actual monkey.
It's an actual monkey. Okay. Again, this is how much I know about Dora. However, what I've seen of it, all my friends have kids, so for the longest time I've been running into people watching Dora. And then when they said that, I'm why would they do a live action? Just do an actual cartoon.
Well, I feel that'd be the thing where people are saying, why release it in a theater when you basically have, the Simpsons movie? People,
yes.
I myself am well, it just felt like a hour and a half long Simpsons episode. It didn't feel like I had to go to the theater and watch it.
Well, and the Simpsons movie was actually supposed to be their finale.
Yeah.
And then they ended up going more and more. And now
there's supposed to be another movie that's going to be the finale.
Final, which, I love Simpsons to death. I don't watch it as much as I used to. If it's on, I might, but Simpsons was my Family Guy, right? For a lot of people that may be listening, or for a lot of people in my age demographic and older, Simpsons was it. That was when, parents were you shouldn't watch The Simpsons, it's not good for you. Yeah. Luckily I got old enough and they're watching Family Guy because they would lose their shirts over what's going on that show. But yeah, I don't see Dora being the thing that, again, anybody asks for, anybody wants, and especially live action, because that would just be weird.
There's one more possibility that's probably more likely than anything we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Is that it's going to be a Smurf style, kids friendly, just generic kid friendly movie. And since, they threw Michael Bay in there, right. That was the rumor.
Yeah.
I feel like we have all these wild ideas going on about Dora the Explorer going, find this lost treasure, hooking up with not hooking up, just meeting with Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Phrasing.
But I feel like it's gonna be like just a regular old like Smurfs film with like Neil Patrick Harris.
So there's gonna be a live action character there. However, Dora
Boots will be animated.
Boots will be animated. Dora will be animated, and or Dora will be live action.
Well, that'd make more sense.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just think it's something that's...
One thing that brought... You was talking about, like, live action and what would be live action. We're not going to talk about this too long. But the Sonic movie, I think this is old news, but they're still doing the Sonic movie, which I just want to throw out there, because I feel like...
Well, again, it's a video game / cartoon or whatever. Will it work live action?
No. No way.
I don't think so either.
I feel like they just an animated one, like classic, 2D Sonic. Or not 2D, but like, I guess classic Sonic style.
Yeah.
That'd be great, but no.
The one they could have done, and they screwed up big time, was a Super Mario Brothers movie way back in the 90s. And that was awful. Like, awful. And the only thing Mario about it was the name drops and some of the colors on Mario and Luigi, who apparently have the last name Mario. So it's Mario, and Luigi Mario. Like, what was the point of that?
Well, according to Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, he says they don't even have a last name. It's just
Mario and Luigi. Yeah. Like Cher. So yeah, I don't know. Dora the Explorer. At least Michael Bay is not going to be a part of it. We're not going to be getting anything too, like crazy, but
unless there's a cinematic universe that comes out with Diego somehow.
There will be. Son of a...
I guess the studios will be exploring that possibility.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
A lot of Doras will be open.
You're the worst.
Doors. It's funny.
You're the worst. So let us know what you guys think about, not just because Michael Bay is, not involved in it, but again, the jury's still out on his production company, but do you want a Dora movie? If you have kids, would you take your kids to see a live action Dora, or do you just stick to the cartoons? Would it be a good way to bring Dora back into the fold? Do you think they're going to spin it off? But yeah, let us know in the comments below. We've got our top 5 coming up right now, and we just changed it up a little bit. We don't really talk too much sports, but Justin Timberlake is back on the Super Bowl after Nipplegate, which happened a while ago. So we're doing the top 5 right now. All right. Top 5 favorite Super Bowl halftime shows. And as we mentioned in the opening, JT is back. So in honor of that, we have decided to do this. Not many of you cared. In fact, 44 of you cared. But this is for you 44. So what do we have on the list? We had Prince. We had Michael Jackson. We had Beyonce. We had Lady Gaga, Springsteen, the Rolling Stones. We had Paul McCartney, Aerosmith, and Coldplay. And at number 1 with 27.27%, we've got Coldplay, Beyonce, and Bruno Mars, the 2016, which was kind of crazy because at one point Michael Jackson was first, then it was Prince, and then Coldplay, Beyonce, and Bruno Mars came after. So, wow, what a way to pull through. Prince at number 2 at 20.45%, Michael Jackson at 18.18%, Beyonce's 2013 performance at 11.36%, and Lady Gaga 2017, 4.55%. How does that fare with ours? Almost the same, but not really. Michael Jackson is our number 1 for sure. Then we've got Prince. Then we've got Beyonce. Then we've got Coldplay, Beyonce, and Bruno Mars. And then we've got the Rolling Stones. It's the Rolling Stones. They've got to be on here at least. And it's Michael Jackson. He has to be number 1. That's our top 5. Enjoy the rest of the show. So, it's the last episode. Halloween is...
last episode of October.
Last episode of October. We've been doing kind of a Halloween theme thing going on, except for that Super Bowl thing, because again, the Justin Timberlake announcement, for those of you who care, and not that many. I think there was only like 40, 45 votes, so not that many people cared about it. But let us know what you guys want for top 5s, because that'll also help us too. But yeah. Horror movies are a hit and miss.
Yes. This year it seems like they've been a very big hit though.
The past 2 years, actually, it's been really good. One company I can cite for sure is Blumhouse. And so Blumhouse is one of the, I would say right now, for the amount of money that they put into their movies and their return, are probably making the biggest profit margins.
I feel like horror movies always make the biggest profit because most of them are very like low, like they don't have a big budget, and then they make bank, like Saw, for example.
Right.
I think that was like one of the highest grossing films, I think, of the horror genre.
The first one.
The first.
Yeah, and it was in one setting.
Yeah, like 8 15 days to film, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly. And the cool thing about Saw actually is that they actually filmed it in order. So the actors, I think, was that on Entertain Facts? There you go. I'm like, I read that somewhere. I'm like, wait a minute. I read it on Entertain Facts on Instagram. So you've got, it seems like Blumhouse specifically and some of these other, people making these movies are starting to find a good way to make horror movies again and make them good and memorable and something that sticks and moneymakers, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So what's your history, I guess, with the horror movies, and in the past year, 2 years, which have been the ones that have stood out for you?
Okay, so my history with horror movies are October, and that's it. So I don't really watch a lot of horror movies
throughout the rest of the year. Yeah.
Unless there's big hitters. I can remember Get Out, which was more of a thriller, I want to say.
You're right. But it still has more of that scary element to it. Yeah, Split, psychological
I watch
thriller.
the big ones that come out at the time, and I just find them easy access to watch.
Yeah.
I won't usually go out with, I think the last horror movie I saw in the theater, other than it, was Paranormal Activity 5 with my friend.
How was that?
He kept on grabbing my leg during the jump scares. And it scared the crap out of me, but yeah.
Like, him grabbing your leg was the scariest?
It'd just be, all silent, you get, ready for it to go, and then just, slap my leg, oh, and I just...
Yeah.
Not a lot of people went to that movie.
Well, you mentioned jump scares, and I think that's been the biggest issue, is that a lot of the horror movies do shove a jump scare in there just to get a reaction, to make you in your mind being like, yeah, it was a horror movie because I jumped a couple times with these cheap jump scares. Whereas you look at a Get Out, you look at a Split.
I think even it didn't have many jump scares, did it?
No, it had that fast, but if you haven't seen it, this isn't a major spoiler, you've seen it in the trailers, but when it was doing that super fast kind of run towards them.
Really stupid.
I thought it was it was, I liked the way that they did it, but it was it was a little bit over the top. But they had a lot of lingering shots with the one kid there that, was at the Jewish kid.
Okay.
With that painting of the lady.
Mm-hmm.
They just lingered on it and held it, and her face just got worse and worse and worse, and it got to you. It was less of a jump scare type of movie. I mean, of course, there was a couple of them. It made you feel
uneasy rather than get the cheap scare and you're okay, that was stupid.
Well, and I think the other one was, I think it was Lights Out with, the guy.
Yeah. The girl who would always turn off the light, she'd be gone.
No. Lights Out was, I'm pretty sure it was Lights Out, and if I'm blanking, let me know, because I forget, I haven't seen it, for a while. Okay, no. It was the guy from Avatar, he was the bad guy, he played he was a blind person.
No. The blind house where you went killed all those people.
Yeah, that were getting into his house and everything.
Don't breathe.
I was thinking Lights Out. That was amazing. Oh, and it wasn't that jump scare type. It was
just the worst possible game of hide and seek come to life.
So bad. Yeah, and it was so bad as in that would be such a crappy situation to be in. And again, it had that uneasy feeling during it. A couple of those times where those, specifically with that lady there and some of the other horror stuff, it was that kind of just your whole body kind of goes cold and it feels a little bit numb for a second and you feel uneasy. And I think that's what they've been able to do, is give you that uneasy feeling as opposed to giving you that slap in the face jump scare. And they've been doing it well. And also they've been upping their game on the writing specifically.
Yeah. There's actually a plot to these things instead of, hey, I'm a teenager at a camp. I want to go have sex now. Hopefully I don't get killed.
Yeah, exactly. Or in all those horror movie cliches that they throw in there, that
tripping every 5 seconds
every 5 seconds, making the wrong decisions, making the stupidest decisions. And because the thing is that when I was watching Don't Breathe, and you put yourself in the characters and be like, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably try to find the first window and just bust out of there if I can. And a lot of the decisions that they were making in there, I understood. It wasn't well, you're sitting there why the hell would you do that? Mm-hmm. So they've made not only the main characters, but they've made a few of those ancillary characters make decisions that a normal human would make.
I want to give props to Get Out, because that was I think the horror film that made the most sense to me as this guy's kind of going with his girlfriend. Spoilers if you haven't seen Get Out, which I don't know why you haven't. It's been out for a while.
Yeah.
But, he goes with his girlfriend and all this weird stuff starts happening and he finds, okay, let's go, give me the keys. Well, I'll give you the keys, I'm part of them. And he kind of reacts weirdly. He kind of just goes all throughout this place. And with the stuff happening, you understand his kind of like motives. Like he's just goes crazy. He kind of just like wants to get out.
Yeah.
And just, it was such a good film.
Well, and the other thing too, that one specifically because it touched on a lot of really heavy topics. And, I think it was Jordan Peele that did it. Mm-hmm. He cited in an interview he had where a lot of the movie had to do with, Childish Gambino's last album that he had on, Redbone. The chorus or whatever is, so stay woke. And so he used that as a theme or an underlining theme for it. So, be aware and awake of what's going on around you and I might be not saying exactly like him, but it was very smart writing and it touched on very big themes while using that horror thriller thing because it made you feel uneasy. And those things should make you feel uneasy. That's the experience that you're going to get from them.
Especially that scene. Sorry I cut you off.
No,
that scene where he takes the photo of that one guy, the other black guy, just because he was gone missing. And then he just because apparently the flash brings out the original guy.
Yeah.
And he just starts screaming, get out, get out, get out. And he doesn't understand. He's kind of like, what the hell's going on here? Mm-hmm. He calls his friend at the NCIA, I think?
Yeah, something like that. NCIS.
NCIS, yeah. And it's just it was such a good film. I don't know. Just a lot of themes. The plot made sense. Yeah. It didn't feel like a horror film. It just felt like a smart movie. Yeah, and it was that thriller while using those horror elements, and I think maybe that's the way to do it. Right now, you're obviously going to get your movies like Ouija, which is just a cash grab or whatever. All the other Paranormal Activities, except for the first one.
The first one was okay. The first one was good. I will say that it scared the crap out of me, and then stuff with demonic, things like that. That's why The Exorcist is still the scariest movie I've ever seen. But, the first one had that uneasy feeling throughout, and they were able to play, to just sprinkle it throughout where it wasn't too much, and it still got you really scared when things happen. The rest of them just kind of shoved it down your throat. Mm-hmm. Movies like Saw are more of those, and, specifically the first one, because that was the best one, in my opinion.
Oh, yes.
That did play with not only the horror aspect of it, of being chained in a bathroom with somebody you don't know, but, the psychological torment, and the whole theme around it is, you're not good people, you've done wrong, and it's a rehabilitation process.
Well, also the thing is with Saw, I don't know if this happened in the first movie, because I haven't seen it in a while, but remember in the later installments, they had these choices, I remember there's a scene where you have a saw between two people, we're sitting right here, and you gotta pick, are you gonna, kill the girl, or are you gonna kill one or the other? I felt like that was a good theme, just cause in, in those moments, your worst comes out of you, and you just wanna,
you wanna survive. Exactly. That's where the selfishness, and I think it was number 4 or 5, similar kind of thing, but with 5 or 6 people in there. And if they all would have worked together and made it through, the very last trial that they had to give 2 pints of blood or something each by putting their hand through. Is that the one you were talking about?
I don't think so.
So they put their hand through the saw and they had to give up the blood. But if all of them were around, they wouldn't have cut them, they wouldn't have gone as deep. By the time they were done, they had to go down to here to give as much blood to get out of it. Mm-hmm. And so I think when they tailor make it with the themes, and we've talked about this with other genres like the comic book genre where, you look at a Captain America Winter Soldier where it's taken the political thriller and thrown in Captain America in there. Much like what horror should do is make your story. And if it seems at least to me it's make your story first, make a thriller, and then you can add horror in it afterwards. Mm-hmm. So in terms of horror movies outside of your Friday the 13th and so on and so forth, because you weren't on that episode as me and Nick, which ones for you are kind of your upper echelon?
So I'm going to throw this out there. I think Paranormal Activity, the first one.
Okay.
It was really good. I mean, just in terms of, it was really well done with what they had and how they kind of went with it. It wasn't a big plot, but it scared the crap out of you. And that was what it was meant to do. It wasn't meant to be this whole this whole deep lore, which it is now today with all this stupid backstory they have.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I really liked Get Out. I don't know, that's a bandwagon thing, but Get Out and Split are probably really top for me just because.
But it's not, because they're really good. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. If they were crappy, then it'd be whatever. Saw, aside from the first one, I don't consider them good movies. I consider them just every Halloween, if one's on, I'll watch it.
And this isn't technically a horror film, but I love these movies so much. Scary Movie and The Haunted House, those franchises.
I don't know about Haunted House, but the first 2 or 3 Scary movies, Those ones were so good.
The third one is my favorite.
Is it?
Oh yeah, I watch those constantly, over and over, and I always laugh at the jokes.
Yeah.
Just so good.
Haunted House for me was a little bit too... It was a little bit too all over the place, whereas specifically the first Scary Movie,
What's up?
Yeah, but I mean, it took that movie and really worked it well, right? But yeah, I don't know, a lot of really good ones going on. Oh, and I'm going to be putting on a review really quick because I watched What We Do in the Shadows. It's a mockumentary on vampire life. You guys have to check this out.
Is it on
I'm
Netflix?
just going to say it's on Netflix. Yeah. So that was the F Word podcast for our last October/last Halloween episode. Let us know what you guys think about topics today. I know we kind of veered away from the Halloween stuff with the Dora kicking it off, but we ended off pretty good. Again, let us know how our top 5's going. We've got our Stranger Things recap that came on that I did that, which was took a long time.
But it's only 3 minutes long.
3 minutes, and it's super easy to follow, or at least I try to make it as easy as possible to gear you up for Stranger Things 2, which I'm enjoying so far. Anthony, what do you got?
Okay, I have been playing some Mario Odyssey before this recording. I think I played about an hour and a half of it. Been liking it. Gonna do a review on that soon. Also, to kind of, get hyped for Mario Odyssey, I've been working on a top 10 list. It should be out maybe the day of this being released or possibly the day after. It's just going to be counting down top 10 Mario games released so far. And we also have the new segment coming out sometime soon, not right away because we got to kind of watch the episodes, but F This, which is kind of what we'll be talking about, our pet peeves and some games, movies, just anything basically.
And you guys can even send in your F this or F that moments, and then we'd love to actually read them. Like if you had a moment at a theater, if you had one with a movie, if you had one with a friend, whatever it is, or if there was a moment in a particular movie or TV show, send them in. Email us at the fwordpodcast@gmail.com and say, this was my F this moment. Someone spilled popcorn and stuff all over my stuff and my Coke spilled everywhere. That's a decent F this moment, but we're also going to be doing it in regards to a lot of the shows that are coming out.
Yes.
So
The Flash, Arrow, Walking Dead, Gotham.
Those
are some big hitters. Maybe Brooklyn Nine-Nine if I have time to watch it.
Listen, it's only F yes for Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Well, I don't know. I feel like if I binge watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's really good. If I watch it week by week, it just doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah, I binge watch it. That's all I do all the time. It's the best thing ever.
Maybe we'll do on Stranger Things season 2.
Yes, and we'll give our F yes and F no moments on there. We'll also be definitely doing a review. Like I said, I'm halfway through, so I'll hopefully get that too. And I'm on Assassin's Creed Origins, so I've got to find time for that. And
no love for Wolfenstein 2, though.
No love for Wolfenstein 2. But if we find someone that is interested and they want to be on the show, we'll bring them on, have them do the review.
Also, the Xbox One X is coming out soon. I believe sometime this year. Our friend Bo is actually buying one, and he wants to come on and do a review on that. So for all you Microsoft fans and I guess Sony fans, if you want to see what the other consoles like, come by later and you could hear Bo's thoughts on it.
Yeah, I love it. That was the F Word Podcast. Anthony, what's up?
The roof.
The roof. I'm G, and we are out.